Hello, and I hope you're doing so well, having an amazing week. So this is a video all about the oil paintings I'm working on at the moment. Also in this video, at the end, there's going to be a little chat about movies, if I get time. And also if I get time, I want to talk about some amazing pigments that I've been using, so I can talk through all of them, like if you're interested, if you are into paint. So thank you so much to absolutely everyone who has purchased paintings from my Etsy store. All these paintings will be in my store very soon, hopefully in a few days, not too long, hopefully. Let's see, if I look really like distorted, I'm actually I'm kneeling on my chair at the moment because I can't get the right angle for my ring light. And it tends to film up my chin if I lower it too much. So basically, it's super uncomfortable. But to start with the most recent painting that I have because it's the most wet and I just don't want to get paint everywhere. So this is a cat, a white cat in a green forest. And I started painting this because I saw a Siberian cat, a local cat, just local to me, and I was so inspired by how beautiful it was. I thought I'm going to have to paint a similar looking cat in my next painting, and so this is a similar looking cat to the cat I saw the other day, and I figured it was in this really amazing forest. It was so dark green that were full of creatures that glowed in the dark, like glowworms and moths, even though moths don't glow in the dark, but let's just pretend that they do. This one is a work in progress. The cat is finished. This one is of a froggy in a hat, and he looks so disdainful. So basically my whole plan for this painting was just paint a really disdainful looking frog, and I really wanted this frog to look just so disgusted with its hat that it's found, and it finds its hat, tries it on and just thinks, my God, that looks awful. It's basically sitting alone and contemplating, what is life? I have a horrible hat and life doesn't get any worse than this. Next we have a painting that I have been working on for a century, and I'm not kidding, genuinely. I started painting this years ago, I think. And this painting, I actually really hope this is dry. This is of a dragon, and I did multiple layers on this, and what happened was basically I started painting this dragon. I'd worked out all the composition and everything, and I started using a Alkyd medium. Then it took some time to dry, and I just put it to the side, and then I never went back to this painting. I kept looking at it, and this dragon kept looking at me, and we were staring at each other for quite some time, and I just kept bypassing it. The thing about linen is I have to be in the right frame of mind, because this is oil on linen. I have to be in the right frame of mind to use linen for some reason. I know the reason. The reason is that because it is quite a thick grain, you have to be in that mood to really push the paint onto the surface quite a bit. And sometimes I feel like using it, and other times I just feel like I want a smoother surface, and I'm a bit lazy that way. So then I discard the painting because of that. And so then I finally finished it. And this is an amazingly sneaky dragon because he is alcoholic. So he likes to steal alcohol from various wine cellars and then drink it. And I kind of get the vibe, I wanted the vibe that this dragon was quite a connoisseur of wine, and so knew exactly where to go to get the best wine. And next up we have a painting of a girl on a horse, and she's going to fantasy lands, magical lands. And this painting again is super old. I've been working on this painting for absolutely ages. It's just that the colour scheme has gone through numerous changes because I kept adding to lots of different layers of paint because I couldn't work out exactly where I wanted the colour scheme to go. And I do like the way this painting is headed though. I feel like it's going to come together at some point. Okay, and finally we have this painting of this girl in a magic forest, and she has found this lamp, and it sort of tells the future. But she feels guilty for finding it because it's not actually hers, it doesn't belong to her, so she thinks, what should I do with it? So she hides the lamp in a well. That was my idea. And so then she can go back to it when she wants to know the future again, or read someone else's future, and she can go and find the well and then retrieve it. So yeah, so this this isn't varnished, but it is finished. So this will probably be the next painting out of all of these in my store. Okay, so now quickly I'm going to talk about some amazing oil paints I've been using, like some amazing pigments. I hope I can get through this really quickly. I always start filming so late and then I really regret not having enough time to say everything, but then maybe it's a good thing because otherwise I just ramble on forever. First of all, I'm going to start with some blues. So here is Cobalt Blue, and I've been obsessed with using this. If you haven't ever used Cobalt before, one amazing thing about it is, especially with Cobalt Blue, it lands, in my opinion, between Phthalo Blue and Ultramarine. So it is a neutral blue, but what's incredible about it, this is actually that you can't really see because of the lighting, but this is a Winsor & Newton one. I think maybe you can see it now. And yeah, so what's great about the pigment is that with cobalts and with cadmiums, they have amazing handling properties. So to paint with them, you know, the paint flows really beautifully. And also, it's so great using Cobalt Blue to paint skies because it is such a neutral blue that if you mix it with brown and then add white, you will create this amazing moody, gloomy sky, and it's incredible, particularly for in England because that's all the sky ever is. It's just like grey and moody and miserable, and so it's perfect for that. Another pigment that I've been obsessed with, Wallacea Azure Blue. I've spoken about this 1,000 times on my channel, so probably bored of hearing about it, but most incredible brand ever because they do beautifully handmade paints and they're so pigmented and I feel they're so underrated, so I thought I'd shout them out again. With using some Charvin, the Prussian Blue, which is an interesting colour because it's not so popular anymore. I feel it's a very historical paint pigment that some people just sort of bypass and go straight to the phthalo because phthalo is more vibrant. Prussian Blue is definitely more muted, however it has that incredible midnight blue vibe to it that if you were painting a sea or a night sky, you can just get that really nice, again, neutral toned blue, but it's a very deep and rich blue. And of course it is very famous in history, so if you love the whole art history, classical experience, you definitely want to try it. A very new discovery of mine, and one that I need to review on my channel because it is incredible, and that is the Michael Harding Warm White. And this is basically his non-toxic replacement for lead white, which I personally massively appreciate because there's no way I will ever buy lead white. I am extremely I wouldn't say accident prone, but I don't trust myself with any kind of lead pigments. I know there are many people out there, many artists who still go and get the lead paint from obviously Michael Harding as well, because he does do the genuine lead white, and also Rublev famously do it. I've not tried either, but I have seen lead white in many painting demos. I know exactly what it looks like, and I can understand why artists really love it. It's amazing for mixtures, much more so than titanium white because it doesn't dominate the mixture, so it's more subtle in the mixes, but it has this incredible glow, and of course it was used by the old masters. So it is an amazing pigment. I don't trust myself with it. If you are brave and if you have the money, go for it. But this is an amazing non-toxic version, and what I really like about it is, again, the handling of it. It's got that stringy vibe, but it's very, very smooth. So if you want to create some fluffy clouds and moody skies, it's really good for that. Also luminous skies as well, so if there's like some light peeking through some clouds, it's amazing for that. And finally, before my camera breaks down, it's the camera that's crooked, not the painting on the wall. This is just a boring one, but this is transparent red oxide. My particular favourite is the one from Old Holland. I really recommend this instead of burnt sienna or burnt umber. It's my favourite earth colour. The only drawback is it's more expensive, but I do really like the reddish luminosity it has, and I feel like sometimes with burnt sienna it can be very flat almost if you use it like opaquely, if you don't mix it with medium or whatever, whereas this has a really nice undertone. And the Gamblin one is almost as good. It's not as pigmented. I prefer the Old Holland a bit more, but Gamblin is also great. You know what's really weird? I've mentioned this on my channel before, but it's so strange how in the UK Gamblin is actually more expensive than Old Holland, which is just bizarre because all over the world everyone just assumes Old Holland is the most expensive paint, but in England it isn't, which is really weird. So finally, I thought I would talk about, so there was like a TikTok question ages ago that's always stuck in my head. So the question was, what movie have you not finished? Like you've got to a certain place and you just thought, I can't handle this for whatever reason, and you've just turned it off. So I have 3, but actually I have loads of them, you know. When I was thinking about it, I was like, no, there are so many films where I haven't got to the end. I'm terrible this way, where if a movie is just not grabbing my interest, or if it's terrible, like horrible, I would just change it, because I just think, well, you know, why waste a whole 90 minutes or usually longer torturing myself when I could see something that's bad, isn't it? I could be missing out. So the very first one I wrote down was The Omen. The Omen, the very first Omen, starring Gregory Peck and that kid. And I just remember, so basically 2 years ago I saw it, which is quite recently. I mean, like, it's such an old film, but I'd never had the guts to see it before. And I had friends who had seen it in school and after that as well, and had mentioned like, oh my gosh, it's so bad, and you know, it's really scary. And so I was all hyped up, like, oh no, I'm gonna have to be like this most of the time. And I started watching it. It was just like kid Damien, like smirking into the camera, like there's like the really creepy music, and they kept zooming in on his eyes, and it just scared the life out of me. I was trying desperately to turn it off. Next one I've written is really stupid. It's not a stupid film, it's just a stupid reaction probably, and that is Raging Bull. And I bet everyone watching this being like, what? The thing is, when I was a kid, I just remember catching a bit of it on TV, and it was a bit where, I don't know if it was Robert De Niro, it was someone in the film, like basically beating up his girlfriend or wife, I don't know which one it was. He was just beating up a woman, and that just stuck in my mind for so long. Like, as a child I was so disturbed by it, and I couldn't watch the rest of the film, and I haven't seen it since. And probably is actually a good film. I mean, I've heard it's amazing, and especially stuff with the, you know, the boxing. But I haven't seen it since. But next one I've written is The Hangover. I just found that film so smug. Like, there's something about the main guys in that film that they were just so like, yeah, smug. I couldn't think of another word. Just like that bromance thing about women being either hot or like a librarian, and there's no proper character development. It feels very nerdy, like those nerdy type films that appeal to not me, guys, clearly, and I'm not the wrong audience. So yeah, and it's just not my scene, so I couldn't be bothered with it. Finally, I've written, actually there are loads of movies, next time I should do more. And the final one is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I don't know what that film is about, and I saw most of it actually. I do hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you like it, and I wonder if you agree with me or disagree. Feel free to disagree. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Take care, guys.